Chief Technology Officer. He's also on our board, and he spent, 30 years in digital signage and, everything related to the back-end system that accumulates the data that we have. And we've been fortunate to have Jeff join us after he retired from one of the largest digital signage companies in the world, actually.
Oh yeah.
That was also headquartered here in Pennsylvania. So, what I wanted to show you today, because I don't think you know, but Data Display has been in business since 1968. All of the technology you see here, we've put together in different ways for the retail industry, starting as far back as the 1980s. Now, clearly in the 1980s, we weren't doing like motion sensors and things like that, but we've been doing this type of work since, 2012, 2010, 2011. And we've had this back-end system since 2017. And Jeff brings on expertise that even goes back further with another system that we can use. And it's all been vetted by all of the major brands and retailers from a security standpoint.
You can see some of the things behind me here.
Yeah.
Like this is a hockey stand, so if I pick up the skate, it responds. And these over here are a 3D goggle thing that,
like Oculus
3D
goggles.
So chances are, if you're allowed to go back into a Best Buy, you'll notice a lot of screens to like demonstrate products that are in those kind of stores. And there's a good chance that Data Display is driving the experience for all the electronics there.
So, Rich, like for this one that you see behind Jeff, this CTM hockey, this is a sensor. You pick up the skate, the screen changes, you tap more, pro usage, one-piece boot, so all of that is date and time stamped. And then we're able to tell brands like CTM Hockey that in Canada, customers really want to know about what pros are endorsing the skate. And in the U.S., customers really want to know what one model is like compared to another. So now their marketing group can do more marketing of pro endorsements in Canada versus in the U.S., more education on the models. And the only way they were able to get that information is because we gather the data and then give them that information. That same thought process is here because you're able to now have a record of everybody that enters the gym in a nondescript way, like an employee or employee number or a visitor, and that they've answered, questionnaires, and that they have they've answered questionnaires and that their temperature has been taken.
Okay.
So, so I introduced Jeff to you. Debbie Mulder, who just came on as in audio, is working from home today, is a project manager, and you've probably seen her on a lot of my emails for this project. What I thought I would do is turn it over to Jeff and kind of have Jeff walk you through the features and benefits of the product and how it works for the 10.1-inch unit here.
So I've got my trusty little iPhone here that is my remote camera to give you close-up. So you may want to pin that video if you click on my iPhone and click on the little thing, the little 3-dot blue thing in the upper right-hand corner. Not sure how Zoom friendly you are, so it's like, I'm guessing most people know Zoom these days. You can pin the video so that becomes your larger video, right? So here we go. So in fact, let me just bring my chair over here so I can sit down and talk to you while I'm giving a demo, right? So here's the unit. It's got a 10.1-inch screen on the top. It's a touchscreen. It's the sanitizer solution is down below. So there's a little motion detector in the front that when you walk up to the unit, it's going to trigger and say, hey, let's check in. check in, use the sanitizer, dispenses some gel, and the questions start. So a lot of people have badges, so you can enter your badge. It's got Spanish or English, so I press continue in English, so it starts continuing there. It asks you a few questions, and then the next major question is, all right, let's take your temperature. So you line up your head to the thing, and then it comes in and it says, hey, guess what? I'm a human, 97.3, that's good. Welcome to Data's flight. Please put on your face mask before entering. So that's sort of it's pretty quick and painless, right?
Yeah.
It's rather efficient. You didn't have to have a person at the door checking everybody. Everybody can self-service check in. And you have a tracing of everybody's badge who checked in.
Yeah.
And that gets logged and date and time stamped, so you know who showed up when and what their temperature was, and they answered the questions correctly.
And if they don't have a badge, they can type in their employee number. We're refraining from people putting in their names,
right? Because
you don't want, a name associated with the medical reporting aspect of it. What I'm thinking is, in gyms, they probably, I don't know if your gym has it, where they have, a receptionist or, something with a member ID card that they swipe for their member.
Yeah, we don't.
Number.
We could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
well, it's up to you. If you just want to give people a number.
If you just want to give people a number, like, you're, G444, then
do that,
you're
and it comes up
G444.
with, you can type in a number by hand.
Okay.
Right?
And then that way you've got nondescript information and you're protected for that. So nobody knows that Sally's temperature was, 97.4 the last 4 days.
And you can get Spanish if you're showing proof. So, but, why don't I show you sort of how you manage all of that? Because you don't have to do anything to this unit other than put it on the network. You see a little Wi-Fi antenna up here. You plug it into the wall over there.
And Rich, this first screen that you're seeing is just an idle screen. So when it's in idle mode, it should be advertising something about
your
gym.
Right. Yep.
Or the benefits of, or 10% off all merchandise.
Or maybe there's a new class starting up.
Or a new class starting up.
And that's something that
whatever you want to advertise for your gym.
And that's something that we...
Yep, you can change anytime you want.
Okay.
I'm going to show you how to do
that. Yeah, Jeff will show you how.
Okay.
So now join me on this version of Jeff Porter.
Yep. Got it?
Yeah.
Yep.
We got 3 Jeff Porters.
Yeah, I'm on for 2 because I'm typing on this one. And so if I look away, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just looking at you in a different computer.
No problem. All good. Let me see if I can share my screen. Wait a minute.
While Jeff's doing that, I'll tell you a little bit about the inside of the unit. Inside of the unit, there's a canister. It holds 1,000 milliliters of the hand sanitizer gel.
Okay.
It dispenses about 0.8 milliliters at a time. And so you can have an email automatically sent when at a certain number of levels. So let's say after 800 times or after 1,000 times, it sends an email to remind somebody to change the sanitizer.
Right.
And that's just a refillable jar, I'm assuming, right?
It's just a refillable. Yeah, right
container.
Now we're using just this.
Okay.
But you can use any kind.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so I'm going to go to, here it is. This campaign here was the one, you can recognize the picture up here in the corner.
Yep.
That was what we saw. And what I've got here is a little timeline of all those 4 little JPEGs or PNGs that are in the patient, right? So
yep.
I literally just have to, upload that item and drag and drop, a JPEG or whatever. Let's put our famous governor in the front of the playlist. All right. So now when I preview what that looks like, there we have Governor Wolf from the state of Pennsylvania. And, you know, you can change the duration. It defaults to 10 seconds, but, you know, if you want to go faster, you
Right.
can add an animation to have it slide in and slide out, things like that. So, you know, making updates to this attract loop, so to speak, is pretty easy.
Yeah, so just like
whether
drag and drop.
you've
There's
got
no design.
yeah, just drop it,
Yeah,
right?
no design necessary on our part.
No design necessary, right?
Perfect.
It can be a video as well. So whatever kind of media assets that you have lying around that are approximately that shape, it'll work.
Yep.
Yeah. And then let me show you how that we're able to change the questionnaire. So it's, again, just a web form. And, you know, if you have ID numbers or you don't have ID numbers, it won't prompt you to enter your number if no one has numbers. Right? So I can really dumb this down to say, not even visitors have numbers, not even employees or staff members have numbers. No one's got numbers, but, you know, it'll change that. It sets a threshold for the high temperature warning and the low temperature. If it's too low, it's going to retry. If it's too high, it's going to flag you, right? You can select whether you want Spanish or English. If you only want English, that's fine. And then here you can enter your questions, whatever kind of questions your insurance company wants you to enter.
Yeah.
Fine.
Or the state.
Or the state, or whatever.
Right.
Just type it in, and life is good. If you put an asterisk in front of the thing, it makes a bullet point out of it. So you have the option of five different questions,
Now,
both in Spanish and English.
if
and
they
when you're done,
if they answer one
can
of
hit
those
preview.
questions, like if they say yes, I've been ill, does it automatically flag, or does that?
right? Sure, it does.
Okay.
But let me show you how that works. Actually, I'll go answer one of these questions wrong. Maybe I can do that from here.
It can not only will it flag, but it won't it won't take the temperature at that point.
Okay.
And it can send an email or text to whoever you want to send a text to.
Wow, this is
So
great.
if it's a class instructor or if it's you, and then somebody can go out and just ask the person because maybe they just answered the question incorrectly, right?
Yep.
So
I'm going to go back to my iPhone for a second. So I'm over here.
Yep.
So if I answer one of these questions wrong, I'm going to begin. Let's say I have a fever and I am ill and I shouldn't be here. I press yes. It doesn't even bother taking your temperature. Dude, you failed the quiz. Step aside, blah, blah, blah. So that screen you can also change.
yeah, whatever you wanted to say.
Okay.
It's, again, another JPEG that's very easy to, upload to say, hey, that's what I want, right?
Yeah.
So from if you kind of understand PowerPoint, you're going to understand this pretty easy.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So that's about it. Let me see. I can probably figure out how to show you the results. Let me find that window. Let's see here. Okay. I think I can share this screen. So here's the sample spreadsheet that came out of the system. I have a couple different employee cards that are scanned, and I always answered the questions no for some reason. And my temperature is pretty stable except when I'm not standing in front of the unit. But it's pretty nice, it's pretty accurate. It's accurate to 0.3 degrees Celsius, so it's a medical grade thermometer. So it's pretty good. And it keeps track of how many people came in that day and how many times the sanitizer was dispensed. So you can kind of see whether it's going to need refilling. And then it'll send an email to you or a text message saying, hey, go clean the screen and refill the juice. So pretty easy way to track things. Date and time stamp for everything.
And this information is populated and distributed via email?
No, there's a separate login for that.
Okay.
So you can log in and download that for your own record. It gives you 30 days of logs.
Yep.
So you can, figure out what day you're interested in and then pick that one out.
Okay. Perfect. Love it.
We have, there are other features that, you could do as far as door access and things like that. It does require, more programming, but there's a lot of other options that you can do.
And if there's an option you don't see, ask. Chances are,
Yeah.
we can do that.
Do you know how many people come through the doors there on a daily basis?
Before this happened, or there's been one in the last 3 months?
Yeah.
We've got 600 students and 24 employees, and 70 of those students are multiple times a week people. They're a competitive program, so they come, some come twice a week, some come 4 or 5 days a week. So thousands per week.
It's a busy place.
Yeah.
Normally.
Hopefully it will be again soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what questions do you have that we can answer?
You answered them all. I just want to know how to pay for it and how I can get it quickly. That's
Okay. So, we're going to try to get you one here sometime between right around June 10th to June 15th time frame. So pretty quickly, we'll as soon as they come in the door, we'll get them set up and